Okay, I'm gonna explain how this game works. Consider this episode one, big picture stuff. So, this is our map. As you can see, there are nine different colors, nine different countries listed up here. These pinky, oh no, sorry, yellowy areas, like beige, whatever you want to call them, those are neutral territories, so no one owns them. Right. For this example, we're going to focus on Turkey. We're going to pretend we got Turkey. So you'll be randomly assigned a country at the start. These are your territories, marked in brown. Your job is to expand. So these dots here, they're officially called supply centers. We're going to call them dots. This is what the game is all about. To win the game, you control more than half the dots. So if you as Turkey manage to conquer more than half the dots, I think there's maybe 70 of them on the board or something, you win. So that's your first win condition. The second is you can organize a draw between multiple players if you can't get the solo, but we'll get to that later maybe. But yeah, your aim is to collect as many of these dots as possible. In practice, also, what these dots mean in a gameplay sense is they dictate how many armies and fleets you're allowed to have. So right now we have three dots. Fuck me. Constantinople, Bulgaria, and Greece. If, for example, you capture Belgorod, I think, and Naples, and maybe Sicily, then you'll have six dots, including original ones, and so you'll be able to build three more armies or three more fleets or raise three more armies or whatever combination. These three dots here are your home centers. So it doesn't matter how big you get, you can only ever build new fleets and armies in your home centers. So be careful to not lose these. They're very important. Um, right. So your two sorts of unit, armies, fleets. That's it. They are effectively as good as each other. If an army and a fleet fight one on one, they are exactly equal. So armies can travel on land, as you would expect. Every go, they can move to an adjacent territory every season. Fleets can do the same, except that they can't travel on land, or they can't travel inland. They can travel on sea and coast. So, for example, Greece could go to Albania or to the Ionian Sea or Eastern Med, blah, blah, blah. You get the idea. But it can't go to Serbia. Serbia. Bulgaria could go to Constantinople and Anatolia and what these places, but it can't go to the Black Sea because they would drown. Simple as. Um, right. So, there are your units, those are the territories, these are your dots. Brilliant. The game is played in three phases. There is spring, where everyone moves and they try and capture territory. There is autumn, where everyone does the same thing again, try and capture territory, or try and, fight, whatever, expand. And winter, where you can either build or disband units. So if you've had a successful year and you've conquered some territories, in winter you'll get to build more forces. If you've had a bad year and lost territories, in winter you'll have to get rid of your forces. So as I said, the number of these is tied to the number of dots you have. So it's important to keep growing. As I mentioned, I think these yellow areas are neutral territories. So these will be swallowed up first because you can take these without attacking your neighbors. So initially, everyone's going to try and expand into these neutral areas so as not to aggravate their opponents too much, probably. But after a pretty short amount of time, everywhere neutral is gone. So for you to expand, someone else needs to contract. So it's a real organic kind of board goes on. Right. Couple of things on the map. If there's a red arrow between two land areas, that means the army can walk across. So we consider it as if there's a bridge to Ireland or Sicily or Corsica. Yeah. Um, Okay, I will get onto the specifics of actual movement and combat and stuff in the next video, but just to explain how things work on a big picture. Every player can message every other player, also group chats. So, in order to succeed in this game, you need friends. You also need enemies. You also need somewhere to expand. So, for example, in this Turkish situation, let's say you're getting bad vibes from Austria, or you just think you've got a good chance at attacking Austria. You don't want to be having to fight Russia and Spain. So maybe you message them saying, "Hey guys, I'm not too keen on fighting you. Like, you seem like good people. Let's form an alliance. I'm going to go after Austria." If you want to be honest with everyone, for example. Um, Something I'm not sure I said. When everyone puts their moves in, every move is calculated at once. So there's a lot of trust that goes on between allies. Like, let's say you're allies with Russia, and you say, "Hey Russia, I don't want to fight you. You don't want to fight me. How about you keep this army out of Yesedan? That would be really super chill." And Russia's like, "Yep." And then all the moves go through, and you see that Russia's moved into Yesedan. You're like, "Ah, fuck." Yeah. So these are the things you got to be aware of. It's a game of trust and betrayal and uh, odds and taking calculated risks and that kind of thing. Making friends, not being hated, all this good stuff. Um, so yeah, if you lose all your dots, you are out of the game. So if you've got no supply centers, you've got no armies, you're gone. So probably early on, a couple of people are gonna die, and you've got to try and not be you. So the early rounds are pretty important to um, not make yourself an enemy of people too much. Okay, um, I will leave the actual mechanics to next video, but I think that gives you a broad idea. So take dots to grow, to build more armies, to take more dots. If you grow too fast, people might gang up on you and be like, "That guy's running away with the game. Let's all like put him down a bit." Um, if you look too weak, then people will gang up on you because you're free lunch. So it's a delicate act. Um, yeah, I will leave it there. Yeah, in the next video, I'll show how you move and how you fight and how the rounds actually work.